As we've just seen, drugs make your problems go away. So make it the best day possible. Remember, it's drugs that counts. Take one and take a chance.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Please welcome Max Headshrew, Dell, Aria Blackness, and your most gracious host, Ben Motherfucking Jackson. Applause. Applause. Applause.
What's up, kids?
Yo.
So, who's the coolest surfer in the superhero world?
Max. Do any of you surf?
No.
No.
It's something I've always wanted to do, but could never be asked. I hate the cold, and I feel like in England, if you're going to surf, you're going to get like hard nips all the time.
I have a friend of mine who actually I used to go to karate with. He's in his late 40s, right? And he's just picked up skateboarding and surfing. And I think it's somewhat of a crisis. Like he's trying to recapture his teens that he never experienced.
Fair dues. How's he getting on? Has he broke anything yet?
I think he's doing really good. And he's always posting pictures to his Instagram now of him in a wetsuit now. And he's got new tattoos. Like it's a proper crisis, I think.
Hey man, don't knock it. The 40-year-old midlife crisis is essential.
It makes me wonder what mine's going to be. I'm going to shave all my hair off probably, and then
I think the way to skip the midlife crisis is to do loads of shit that you want to do before you have kids. So I did all that before. My midlife crisis is having a kid.
Oh, don't tell them.
I did it the opposite way around. I waited ages, but I never got around to the surfing.
Nah, me neither.
You might have had the right idea, Max. That sounds like the
yeah. I feel like it is. It was for me. Horses for courses.
I would probably take up surfing if an intergalactic being came to me and said, "I will give you the power cosmic." And
yeah, look, if all of that aside, I would happily have a midlife crisis if I could surf through the galaxies or fly around on Earth on a manhole cover powered by static electricity. I'd be down with that as well.
Galactus just came up to whatever his name was, and he was like,
"Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot."
And that's the secret love story between the Silver Surfer and Big Galactus.
Big Galactus.
It is a pretty sweet setup. Like, hey, do you want to be impervious to damage, invincible, and just go anywhere you want in the galaxy? Yes. Yes, I do. Please. I want that.
But you lose your penis.
Did he lose his penis because he was always?
Well, I'm assuming that he's naked. He's not wearing like a silver suit, is he?
That's a good question.
Unless it sort of morphs out of him like the T-1000.
That's a tricky one. I wasn't prepared to debate the surface genitals today.
Nor was I until about 5 seconds ago, but now I'm ready to rock.
As a rule of thumb, we should always think about superheroes' genitals. That's going to come up. I mean, it's going to come up.
I mean, essentially, I suppose if he did have, if that is the case, that he gets his, the price of being the Silver Surfer is that you have your manhood removed. I feel like the Silver Surfer wouldn't give a shit about that anyway, because you wouldn't be thinking in that context anymore.
Would
now
you
a supernatural galactic being, right?
But he did though. I feel like one of the major driving points of the plot throughout the cartoon was him remembering his past,
right? Yeah,
and like the conflict with Galactus for having erased his memories and trying to find his old girlfriend.
Yeah. See, I really like. There's they do that in Spawn and they do that in RoboCop, and I really like that. And then it's only sort of recently when thinking about it, I think it's because we rewatched the Spawn series. Maybe Spawn's different because that's more of like a spiritually changed thing. But with RoboCop, I feel like he wouldn't want that shit anymore because he's now a different thing. He doesn't have those hormones running through his body, like telling him he wants to do all those things, like and be touched. And he's more robot than man. He's got the brain, but his lymphatic system's gone, his nervous system's gone. He'd have no reproductive desire or anything like that. But his dick, his robo dick was gone.
But he does have that thing that comes out of his hand, doesn't he?
He does. The dildo that he uses to open all the doors.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Never became a thing, that did it?
You know
opens
the
doors,
band.
opens legs.
You know the band Steely Dan?
Yeah.
Do you know that Steely Dan was the name of a robot dildo from a story by what's that guy's name? The guy that wrote the Naked Lunch.
I thought you were going to say that was Silver Surfer's original name.
Michael says he'd give up his wang for godlike powers.
Well, would you give up your wang for the fate of the Earth?
Depends what the fate was. And when it happens, is it going to end after my lifetime? Because then it's like a carbon footprint thing in it. You say you give a shit, but do you really give a shit?
Well, I was taught that California would be underwater by now, and I'm still waiting on that. So.
Yeah. If you're a kid in the 80s, you got in 30 years we're running out of oil and all that shit. You know,
the rainforest is still here, right? The ozone layer still here. The icebergs, they're still here. Nothing.
Although they are a little smaller, I think.
Yeah, whatever, dude. The polar bears. Still here.
Fuck polar bears anyway. They just eat you.
They're scary. Who wants?
Yeah.
Like everything that they taught me that was in danger is still going strong. So I don't know. I don't believe
including me. I said I'd be dead in 30 years, and I'm still alive.
Yeah. It wasn't supposed to make it past 25. The joke's on.
So in answer to your question, Aria, no, I wouldn't give up my wang for the fate of the Earth.
See, I thought it was going to go in a different direction when he lost his memory and became the Silver Surfer, because he had some like Jedi name, like Nim Nam Nam. Something.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Norrin
Rad. That's it.
Norrin Rad. Yeah, that sounds like a Jedi.
Norrin Rad. Sounds like a skateboard in the 80s.
I always remember that name because when I was a kid, I came up with a superhero and I gave him the name Norrin Rad. And then it wasn't until a few years later I realized I just stolen that from the Silver Surfer.
That's an
I do that with my drawing, man. I'll draw a character, and then like weeks later I'll go, "Oh, that's Batman." Or that's Wolverine. I didn't even realize.
I invented this new character. He's got 3 claws that come out of his hand.
Yeah. But they're just like, I've swapped them for like lightsabers or something. There's 2 things that I've nicked up.
And yeah, when Faust does it, it's all right. You know, Faust is basically just Wolverine plus Spawn.
I've still not watched it. It's ready
like
for.
I'm
going to give it a crack this week.
It's right up your alley. But like when Norrin Rad gets his Silver Surfer powers, and he's like, and his girlfriend is like, take me with him. Don't separate us. I thought it was going to go in a totally different direction. I thought he was going to be like ascended, like Max said, to where he's a silver Ken doll with no penis, you know. So I thought he wasn't going to worry about women anymore. He's got way cooler things to do, like surf around the galaxy. So I thought there was going to be this whole story of her trying to find him and him not caring anymore.
Yeah, which I feel would have made more sense, because I feel like when you change that way, I think that the best story that described it was like Dr. Manhattan, when he gets changed, he just consistently loses like connection with humanity because he's not human anymore. He's something else.
Exactly.
Hey, Nick, how you doing, man?
What's up, Nick?
Hey, gentlemen.
What's your lighting? Your lighting looks all profesh.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that it's my one single light that I have in my room.
Oh man,
it's well positioned, may I say?
Well, yes, I went with the spooky green because I have my Reanimator T-shirt on today.
Right,
nice. Awesome.
Oh yeah, we passed a mini milestone on this channel this morning, and we hit 100 subs.
Oh, great!
Wicked.
100 subs on Max Headroom. Woo! That means we can customize the URL, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Let's do it.
Pretty sure we can do that. Well, thank you very much, all you Headrooms out there.
Yeah, man, we've had the viewership goes like this, but it's pretty much leveled out now, and we're getting a good consistent amount on both shows.
Yeah,
which I'm really pleased with.
I'm pleased with that as well, and it's a young channel, so to be getting 30, 40 views consistently, that's impressive.
Yeah, and we've all been chatting about getting different things out there on the channel as well. Eventually there will be some pre-recorded stuff that me, Ben, Chris, and Justin have been going on about that. Everybody wants to do their own little projects for the channel. I'd just like to think of the Max Headroom channel as a bit of a petri dish for just experimentation. If anything gets big, any one of the members of the channel is free to just fuck off and give it its own channel and move on. But I just like the idea of this being a place where people can just experiment, just under the Max Headroom sort of title. And the more we get, the more sort of subs we get off each other's content, the more eyes we get on each other's content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's totally what I'm into. And that goes for you guys too, Aria and Nick. If you have a weird idea for a strange show that you want to try,
I'll be here next week for my first Learning How to Surf stream.
Yeah,
which one?
How to surf stream.
Yeah, that sounds fucking super rad. Honestly, streaming hasn't been at the forefront of my mind lately, but I will start thinking about that. But unfortunately, I can't stay for super long today.
No worries.
That's kind of trying to balance everything, so I got to leave here in about maybe 15 or 20 minutes.
No worries, man. We appreciate the drop in.
Do you know how to surf, Nick?
I'm sorry?
Do you know how to surf?
Are you asking me that because I'm from California?
No, I'm asking you because it's today's theme of the show. Surfing superheroes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Static Shock and Silver Surfer.
Nick always comes in without having looked at the thumbnail or read the description.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know, but I like
that. I'm a fucking renegade. I don't know what's going on. I just I'm adaptive, I just like to test out how well I can drop into a situation that I should be prepared for, but I'm not. That's no different than every other day. Anyway, surfing superheroes. For me personally, I know how to surf. I understand. I've been surfing, so I understand the principles of it. But as far as surfing superheroes, there's not really a lot that's their primary thing, right? There's Silver Surfer and
Static Shock.
Static Shock, yeah.
Static Shock. He's always.
Does he surf though?
Well, he surfs on
manhole cover, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, but
you can surf on anything so long as it's metallic, right?
It doesn't have to be metallic. It just has to glide.
I think that's more alluding to skateboarding.
Oh, you think so? Well, they're both hoverers.
Right. But his name and his board looks like a longboard.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you surf on a turtle?
On a turtle?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they have the hydrodynamic shape for that.
I feel like if it was going fast enough, you'd probably kill it, but if it was going fast enough, at least the shell would.
Fast enough, right?
That's a really good idea.
Dragging you.
It'd be cooler to surf on a shark, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like the turtle, but I'm thinking like the turtle's upside down, right? So the shell's on the bottom.
Yeah, that makes
standing
way
on the-
more sense. In
you're
my head, it
standing
was the
on the
fleshy
belly.
bit on the bottom, and it was just getting fucked up.
It's a good question.
Huh.
Viewers, if you were to surf on a turtle, would the turtle go belly down, or would the turtle go belly up?
Welcome to
tortoise be more robust.
Already on acid.
Should we call our viewers shroomies? I think we're going to do that from now on.
Shroomies. Okay.
Shroomers?
Shroomies, we want to know belly up
Shroomies?
or belly down to surf on a turtle? It's an important question.
I was imagining shell up, because like shell down, you're kind of demeaning the turtle. It's more of a domineering thing.
Fuck the turtle. You want to get to the shops.
More
If
like a
you were gonna
symbiotic.
fuck the turtle, would you fuck it belly down or belly up?
Belly
I feel
down.
like there's less chafing. If it's
Splinter
belly
didn't
up.
train them for this scenario.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on the relationship between you and the turtle. If you're just like, fuck this, it's belly up for
Well,
sure.
after seeing you surf, it'll be like, fucking hell. Be into it, wouldn't it? Especially you, Nick, you handsome
Oh,
devil.
me? Oh, I thought you were saying I was bad at surfing, which I am.
No, I'm saying that if a turtle saw you surfing, it would be aroused.
Oh, yeah. Well, then it would definitely have to be shell up because its neck would be coming out, right?
Exactly. And also you want to kiss, don't you?
Oh, hell yeah.
So it'd have to be the other way around, unless you just like...
You don't want
Let's
turtle
move
kick?
on.
You don't want no turtle kick?
But I mean, this is an interesting line of thought because Super Mario Bros. Explored, the sort of potential for using turtles as weapons. But I think
That's
there's
true.
a lot of potential here unexplored. Turtles could be exploited for a lot more purposes.
In Rokan, I want to, if I ever get the chance, I want to, because obviously we use the turtle shells in some of the designs, don't we? I wanted to have some dude with a big turtle shell shield. Bye, Ben.
Yeah, cool. Anyway.
Have you guys read
No, I'm right here.
I'm very joking, mate. Read the Red Rock, mate.
Planet Hulk.
Yes.
Here it is.
Yes.
I'm giving
You,
it to you.
Oh, nice one, bro.
All right. Also, just as a disclaimer, I know the new Dune movie came out on HBO Max. I haven't fucking seen it yet, so if any of you have seen it, do not ruin it.
We were thinking about...
Well, I'm pretty sure you know the story of Dune. You read it when you were 18, like everyone else, right?
Yes,
I wasn't prepared for that either, Michael.
Like how can you spoil
I haven't got to be
movie
adaptive
based
on this
on
show.
a movie based on a book you read when you were 18? There's no spoilers.
No, I mean, like,
it'll be in the execution. That's what he means. Yeah.
Okay.
There could be something, but if there is, I don't want to know what it is. So
Spider-Man is in the end credits.
Yeah. Fucking crossover are they gonna do for this one?
What were you going to say about Planet Hulk?
Yeah, you reminded me when you said the turtle shield, because in Planet Hulk, Silver Surfer wears his board on his arm like a shield, and I thought that was
he does. He does.
Yeah. And then he's got like a mallet or something. I don't remember, but
yeah. But what was that latest Thor film? The one where that's basically Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed that there was no Silver Surfer in that.
Yeah, and he was called the Silver Savage, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good book, man.
Planet Hulk is a great book.
Incidentally, the guy that wrote that is the guy that blocked everybody on Twitter.
Who was that?
I forget his name now. Chris will slap me around the face when he sees me because I consistently forget it. But apparently that's the guy.
Was that the recent one? I don't remember the name.
Yeah. The one I said was a pussy.
Right.
Because he blocked loads of people he didn't know.
Yeah.
Wasn't there somebody wasn't there somebody who like got around? They had ice powers, and they would fly around by creating a platform.
Yeah, Iceman.
Huh?
That's Iceman from the X-Men.
Right. Does that count as surfing?
Bobby
suppose it does, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
That would be. Wouldn't that be something if the winner of this versus was Bobby Drake? Iceman.
The thing about that is everybody always knows where you've been and where you're going.
Yeah,
that's true.
You've got to wait till it melts.
How does
who did this? It was Iceman. Where is he? Well, just fucking follow that ice bridge and we'll be at the end of it having a McDonald's or something.
That the ice bridge is intact from beginning to end, and even if it were, like, it'd break at some point, right? Like, you'd be like, all right, yeah, you get like 20 feet.
Fucking magic ice, isn't it?
Yeah, like, how is he staying afloat on this? This doesn't make any fucking sense. There's got to be an additional force at play. Like,
is he freezing the moisture in the atmosphere?
I don't know. I suppose as a kid, I always thought he just shot ice out of his hands.
Yeah, he shoots out of his hands, right? So you think he'd have to turn backwards to propel him in the direction he wanted to go. So you'd have to surf backwards. But he always shoots out and then goes in that direction.
Unless, like, he starts it as he's jumping off something, so he's got that momentum. He's just got to consistently build the path to keep the momentum.
That it'd be like he'd still fall. He'd just immediately just be like, even I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Maybe he has really powerful farts. He just goes.
Well, they never
that would melt the ice behind him, wouldn't it?
That would work, but then he wouldn't need the ice platform. You know,
yeah.
Like,
yeah,
right. Then he
just
needs
roller skates
and not Iceman. Yeah, that is.
I don't buy the Iceman surfing bridge. Like, fuck,
yeah, I'm getting
there's something else going on here.
All right, Iceman, you're out. You lose, Iceman.
He's fucking out.
Both of these series, incidentally, Static Shock and Silver Surfer, totally fucking passed me by when they first came out. I was a dead surprised, especially about the Silver Surfer. Actually, quite like the animation style in that. Although I'm not that keen on mixing 2D and 3D. I think it looks a bit clunky.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it because it made Galactus look like a god, like he was different.
Right.
Yeah, it did look good in it.
I was going to say the same thing.
Did you see the fucking what's the new movie coming out? The Marvel movie that's coming out.
The Eternals.
The Eternals.
The Eternals.
Yeah, Galactus.
He's in it.
Yeah, I think so, right?
I don't know.
I don't want him to be.
I suppose he is. Isn't he? Is he one of the Eternals or one of the?
Or is he just rumored to be in it?
No, unless I'm mistaken, because I could be.
Oh,
I get things mixed up. But they're like, oh, we were told not allowed to, and they're like, by whom? And then like this giant fucking,
that's one of the Celestials.
But
Galactus might be a Celestial
Galactus as such.
It's the one with the dots.
He's got 6 eyes.
Yeah.
Google tells me Galactus isn't the Celestial in the Eternals trailer. It's Arisham the Judge.
I bet they'll mention him. All that shit's on its way. The Fantastic Four's on its way, so Silver Surfer will be not far behind it, I imagine.
But they're similar in size.
Yeah,
they're pretty
similar. Planets, so.
They're kind of similar.
But anyway, yeah, I thought it was impressive. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. But I don't know.
I'm like fucking tired of Marvel. I'm just bored of them.
This guy, right?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not the same guy as Galactus. He's got 6 eyes, and he doesn't have the big ear things. But yeah, he is similar. I don't know enough Jack Kirby lore to really understand these characters.
The Celestials are just giant beings that sort of oversee reality in the galaxy and stuff. And I'm pretty sure Galactus is one of them that's gone rogue. That's why he just goes around destroying shit. I think. I might be talking out my ass.
I'm not sure.
We should have got someone like Russ Leach on today. He would have told us all about Kirby and all that stuff.
I just haven't got the brain space for it all.
We should talk about Static Shock somewhat also, because
you let me know, because you're a big fan, right?
I'm a big fan. So let's take a look at how the Silver Surfer got his groove.
I love you,
Galactus. Take me with him. Take me with him.
I will never forget you, Jalabal.
Glory.
perform your task as my herald, Norinrad, you must become far more than merely a man. I bestow upon you a portion of my own power cosmic. You shall absorb boundless strength from the cosmos itself, needing no food to eat, no water to drink, no air to breathe. You shall be able to transmute the elements, and to heal others as well as yourself. Cosmic bolts of awesome power shall be yours to hurl. And neither the frigid cold of the deepest space, nor the blazing heat of the brightest star shall harm your shielded body. Most importantly, I shall give you the means to travel faster than the fastest starship, so you may soar to the ends of the universe and beyond. Norinrad exists no more. You are newborn, my herald. Even your mind is a new page on which I shall write. Arise!
That's cool.
That's cool.
I was kind of hoping after all that dramatic stuff, like, what if his board was just like very phallic, like absolutely looked like a dick?
And you will ride this giant penis through outer space.
Like, here's your spaceship thing, or whatever. And he's like,
but yeah,
this.
Can I change it?
That's. Please? And you're like,
and you should have been like, penetrate the depths of the universe.
Yeah. Penetrate many black holes. Yeah, he didn't mention his dick.
Penetrate the depths of the universe.
He broadly spoke about how it would change him, but he didn't really get into detail about what physical parts of him would change. Because
you bring up a good point, because
you will lose your penis and balls.
If he needs no food to drink and no water to eat, you would think that he didn't like need pussy anymore. Like at that point,
but he didn't say that, did he?
He's like an asexual, right?
Yeah. You will no longer be enamored by boobs.
No, fuck that. That's impossible. You can't change that. There are some things in the universe that are just unchangeable. I mean, even Dr. Manhattan into titties.
Yeah, but Dr. Manhattan kept his dick.
Yeah, but he was so over the human condition that he went to go live on Mars and build his stupid palace. He still liked titties.
Yeah, I suppose
we were having the best conversation while there was like members of the household walking behind the curtain.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Mrs. Blackness.
But yeah, I suppose he did replicate himself a couple of times to sort his missus out. While really he was doing a science stuff in the other.
I'm glad you didn't say that while they were in the room.
Sorry, man.
Dude, honestly, like, fucking how this is probably gonna upset a few people in the audience. How typical of a girlfriend to be upset about that. Like, you weren't paying 100% attention to me. You're like, listen, there's like this whole global crisis going on.
But also he'd replicated himself 3 times, so he was paying 2 times more attention than he would have anyway, or 3 times more.
Yeah,
it still wasn't good enough.
Like, if my girlfriend could replicate herself to where I could have sex with 2 of her and she's also doing the dishes, I don't have a problem with that.
Look, she was so petty that she cheated on him with fucking Mothman.
Yeah.
Ow.
That would crush the soul of a god, right? You cheated on me with Mothman.
Yeah. Well, he did. He fucked off to Mars, didn't he?
Turns out the fucking Tinder community on Mars is pretty sparse.
But it's a good question. Like, if you were like an immortal being would you still be obsessed with your girlfriend, or would you move on? Or would
Eventually,
you be more concerned with bigger things like surfing?
Dracula was.
Yeah, Dracula was.
I think
but he wasn't like he wasn't a galactic being, was he? He was still stuck on Earth.
Right.
If you could go anywhere in the universe, would you still be mad about your ex-girlfriend?
No.
If the concept of running out of time no longer applied to me, I could travel anywhere for any amount of time that I wanted to. Those things are infinite, right? Like infinite time, infinite travel. I could do that shit forever. But I know that my current girlfriend is going to die. So time to me is irrelevant. So I would spend the maximum amount of time that I could while she's around with her and enjoy that relationship. Because that's ultimately what's fulfilling, right? Is our relationships with other people.
I would immediately
That's
leave.
the thesis.
Right. That's the thesis.
Everyone I loved, everyone I like, I'd just be like,
cool. Well, when that happens,
you won't know because you won't hear from me. You'd just be like, yeah, what happened to Max?
Well, just leave a note.
I heard you got godlike powers and no one's seen him since.
Any longer than like 30 days, then all of your drawing shit goes to me.
Well, that's it. I'll be like, I could just duplicate myself to do all the drawing while I fuck off to Jupiter for a bit.
Man, fuck off. I want your drawing stuff.
Yeah.
You can have my drawing stuff. Mate, you won't want my drawing stuff. It's all knackered.
That's a fantasy I've had many times of being able to duplicate myself just to sit in my room and draw more comics.
Is it masturbation or is it gay at that point?
What if you're doing it with yourself? Shell up or shell down?
You gonna do it? You gonna do it?
I mean, I don't not fancy myself. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Ben, are you writing all this down?
Yep.
Don't write this down.
Is this all a point for Silver Surfer?
Yeah. This is the episode about Silver Surfer and Static Shock, by the way.
1 point for Silver Surfer makes you question your sexuality.
That is a good point.
Honestly, I don't think Static Shock even counts. Like, he's a skater. He's not a surfer. Silver Surfer's the only one.
Ben's not happy.
Do we have a clip of the Static Shock like powers or whatever?
Yeah, here's Static Shock's powers.
But you better stop praying all the same. Whoa! My chain!
Whenever I'm nervous about facing a big group, I try to imagine them in their underwear.
Well, you're not imagining it. You're making it happen.
He's floating around on a board, man. I don't see the difference.
And that's because you're not from California. It's clearly different.
Does the phrase "go suck a" hold any meaning for you?
I do. I can't catch those in time. Whenever they pop up, they're muted. I have to tap it and then the sound.
Really?
Muted.
Basically, Raphael just told you to suck his dick.
That's annoying. They shouldn't be muted.
Aria just that's.
I don't know. Maybe it's part of my set.
Aria, do I need to tone down the language so you can stay on air?
I like this one. I like this one a lot.
Stick around, fellas. You got company.
Bro,
what even is he?
He's got quotes that are more clever and more fun than Spider-Man with his superpowers. He's creative with his superpowers, and he's surfing around on that metal board, dude. I don't see any difference between what he's doing.
Bro,
right? Okay. We're gonna settle this.
That looks like a
find out the definition of surfing, right?
Those
Are there any circular surfboards?
What's the definition of surfing?
That looks like a fucking manhole.
Yeah, he's surfing with a manhole cover. Because it's not shaped like a surfboard, that's why it doesn't count. I don't know.
So it's got two. So One definition is the sport or pastime of riding a wave towards the shore while standing or lying on a surfboard. And the second one is the activity of moving from page to page or site to site on the World Wide Web. So you can surf the web. So you should be able to surf air, really. Maybe.
Now, is the Silver Surfer even a surfer according to those definitions?
I would say on a surfboard.
See what I mean?
I would say because you have to be riding something that is ultimately taking you a singular direction, regardless of which way you want to go. Static Shock and Silver Surfer both have the ability to travel in any direction that they want.
Therefore, neither of them is a surfer?
Yes.
Show's over. You ruined it.
Okay. There are no surfer superheroes. See you next week.
There
are no best surfers because they don't exist.
They all suck. They're all garbage. But I mean, there have to be superheroes whose extracurricular activity is surfing, right?
Yeah.
Like in the X-Men, I feel like the X-Men actually have hobbies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just going to say, I bet Cyclops surfs.
Yes, their whole identity is that they're this superhero. But I always feel like at least.
Are you saying then that the fundamental definition of surfing is the water in which you surf on?
Absolutely.
It's not that, so you can't surf on any other substance except for water.
I think the only other time that I've heard surfing used is longboarding, but longboarding still serves the same end goal where you're being taken in a specific direction. Like you can only go down that one road that's downhill. You can't go back.
Well, what about yeah, but you can surf the web and you can go any direction you want there, can't you?
That's different. I don't know why they use the word surf. It should be navigate.
Well, maybe they use the word surf because it's a malleable form of describing a certain type of travel, which means you can surf on more than just water.
Yes, what that guy said.
It's not like
because you can only skate on solid things, can't you? You can't if you can't skate on anything else. You couldn't skate. You couldn't be a sky skater because you need to have skates like wheels, and anything else that's solid would be useless.
I guess because the guys like they take snowboards and they jump out of planes and they do like the fucking
is that sky surfing?
I would call that sky surfing. But
so you're coming over to our way of thinking then.
But you're still
being surf the air.
So, but instead of going towards the shore in a horizontal fashion, you're going towards the shore in a vertical fashion.
But if you're in space, you're going towards someone's shore. Because you're going towards all different planets. You're always going towards the shore.
That's true. But also,
doesn't matter which way I'm going towards the shore now, look.
But you could also think about it outside of like a cardinal direction. You're always being taken a specific way in time, unless you have the ability to transcend the space-time continuum. So, does Silver Surfer have? Can he travel through time?
I don't know. I suppose if he can travel at the speed of light, then yes, he can travel through time.
I just found this when I was looking for surfing superheroes, and why would Batman and Robin take to surfboards to catch a bad guy who's also surfing? Why not get a fucking boat?
Because it doesn't look as cool of a picture.
Also, holding bags of coins is not going to help you surf well.
Do you just mug a shark or something?
I found another surfer superhero. Check this. Share system audio. Okay. Check this guy out. Green Dog. He got a surfboard. And then he just surfs around on his magic surfboard.
Oh, he's doing a nice on the surfer.
Basically, the same story as the Silver Surfer. He gets his magic surfboard, and then all he wants to do is find his girlfriend. It's the same story exactly.
Well, I'll compromise with you, Nick. I'll say the Silver Surfer's a surfer because he's on a surfboard, but I'll let the Static Shock one go.
Well, I think that
I still kind of think he is a surfer.
But also, like, Static Shock appeals to a specific demographic of young people, specifically inner city kids. Most inner city kids aren't surfers; they skateboard.
Yeah.
So if you're Static Shock, and like that's what I'm feeling about.
Well,
I'm
not saying that the concept they came up with was foolproof. I'm just saying that he happens to surf the air.
I guess so, but like I think Static Shock was part of the big appeal for him was that he's like a very like relatable character. Like Peter Parker is a fucking genius scientist. How many kids do you know are a genius scientist? None. Like all the X-Men come from these like super different backgrounds and shit. And they were born with their powers. But Static Shock was an inner city kid who got these powers later in life. And he would probably have been skateboarding before that.
Yeah, he looks like a
skater.
100%, yeah.
He looks like a skater. Yeah.
You know what's interesting though is they never established like that Virgil Hawkins is a skateboarder.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? It's not like, he's a skater kid and he gets powers.
Ben?
Sorry.
Did you skateboard when you...
A little bit, yeah.
All right, Max, you don't count because you would have been like the scene from Back to the Future 2 in the 50s when they're in the square. That's
like
you.
That joke, but that is 100% true. I used to hang on the back of milk floats listening to The Power of Love.
There you go.
The power of love.
Okay.
I had a really...
Just gonna stand it! Oh.
Yeah, that was me.
Aria, did you skate when you were younger?
No way. I can't. No ability to skate.
You're disproving my theory. But
Brits
I don't know.
Not many Brits like.
What's the theory? Because I'm not a city kid either. I live in the valleys. Like I'm surrounded by sheep.
The theory is that
sheep surf.
I mean, where I grew up, or at least the time frame that I grew up, like literally.
When you say the valley to someone like from California, they imagine something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in part of South Wales called the Valleys because, like, hills. We live in the middle bit. So
I've been there a few times.
You know what would be a really cool reality show? If you took a valley girl from the valley and she had to live in Wales for a year with sheep and grass and whatever.
Back with a stupid accent and
yeah.
You say valley,
and
what you're specifically is the San Bernardino Valley, but there's two valleys in California. There's when you say Valley Girls, you're speaking about Los Angeles, but also there's the Central Valley where I'm from, which is north of the greater Los Angeles area, which is not the same. Like San Bernardino Valley Girls is like
full of like girls that talk like this. Is it like the same culture?
Yeah, that's San Bernardino, but
that's the
where
San
I'm
Bernardino Valley.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie with Nicolas Cage where he dates this girl from the valley? It's called Valley. It's a really good movie. So there's two valleys. There's three valleys because there's another valley. I'm sorry, Nick. You were explaining to us.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, but when you say from the valley in California, there's only two places that you really mean. But you only say, like, I don't know. I feel like the valley in San Bernardino is sort of more like a local thing. Like people from there say that, but everywhere else in California, the Central Valley is much larger than San Bernardino. So, you know.
So that's not the real valley. But there's so much pop culture stuff related to the San Bernardino Valley.
That's true.
You know, that's why we think that. There's a Frank Zappa song. There's a Nick Cage movie. It's a lot of stuffs.
Where's Static Shock from then? What city?
Oh, he's from Dakota City, which is like a fictionalized Chicago. Right. Basically. And so I never understand if these characters are in the real world or not, because the places that they live are always like made up places that don't really exist. But then they make references to real life stuff. Like take a look at this.
Have guests here. And second, I'm Batman.
And I'm Beyonce.
Well, whoever.
Beyonce.
Like,
well, I always
go ahead.
Their reality is very similar to ours. Like they live in an alternate universe, right? Where they're parallel. So there's some crossover. Yeah. So I was trying to get the directional right. There would be crossover. There would be a version of those things in that universe, but in somewhere along the timeline, things went differently. Instead of it being New York City, it's now Gotham City. Or maybe they didn't have the Dark Ages in this one, so they're 400 years.
Hey, it's kind of
they doing.
So what you're saying is that in our universe, there's a pop star named Beyonce, and in his universe, there's a pop star named Beyonce.
Beyonce, yeah. I always felt like Marvel was the one that was like supposed to be closer to ours because everything's named after the actual places, right?
It's like Wakanda is like the only one I can think of in Marvel that's
yeah. Oh yeah, I never even thought
not a real
that,
place.
Yeah, Marvel's meant to be our world.
Yeah.
But Static Shock exists in the expanded DC universe. You see, there was this small time operation called Milestone Comics, and they made a bunch of titles. I really enjoy Milestone, by the way. I have a lot of Milestone comics. Static Shock was my favorite Milestone superhero, and then they did a crossover with DC. I'm pretty sure DC owns all of the Marvel.
All right, Mark. There are loads of places that don't exist. But why do you have to make us look silly on our own show?
Sokovia, Madripoor. Yeah, you're Genosha.
All right, John.
All these low blows.
Next, they'll be telling us Australia's a thing.
Yeah, imagine.
But the difference is
not gonna fucking fool me.
The difference is like DC like never mentions real place or hardly ever mentions real places, right? Like almost never.
Yeah, everything's like their version of it, isn't it?
I don't know enough DC, but yeah, it's all Gotham and Metropolis and all that, right?
That's it, yeah.
Exactly. So let's talk. Okay, so somebody was throwing shade at Static Shock in the comments.
How dare they?
Let me see.
How dare they?
Was it Dylan Draws?
Yeah, I think it was. But I like Static Shock. I think he uses his superpowers in a very creative way because there's so many electricity guys that are just losers. But check this out. This guy, I mean, they really think outside the box.
Urge? Not now, Rich. I'm vibing.
Huh?
I'm a human CD player. Even got surround sound.
Yeah,
How does that work?
Vinyl's better.
Yeah, but he can put the electricity through the CD and listen to it in the store.
But there's no speaker.
Yeah.
The speaker is his eardrum.
We fucked up.
He's just Googling this now.
I think Static Shock, the design of the character is wicked cool. I think the creativity with the superpowers is very fun. I think the personality is a fun take on the Spider-Man guy. I think he's a more relatable, more likable Spider-Man with just as interesting and unique superpowers.
I think he's got a silly purple jacket.
I think he's even more relatable because he does things that any average person who got superpowers would do. Like Spider-Man's like, he has a lot of existential crisis going on. He's like, I've got to balance my scientific research, my girlfriend, my superhero life, and my aunt. And he's fucking Static Shock's like, damn, I can play this CD player without a Walkman. That shit's tight. That's what I would do. That's what
exactly.
Just all day.
I'd be like, I don't need to buy a fucking.
Like Spider-Man lives with
anyway, guys. Unfortunately,
that's not relatable. You gotta go.
No
Nick.
worries. Take it easy, Nick. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for
Hop on
coming
next week if you can. Always a pleasure, mate.
I will. Oh.
So, if anyone wants to jump on, you can do that.
Yeah, man. Hop on. Don't be a pussy, just hop on and say something horrible to Arya and then leave.
There's a lot of action in the comments. A lot of action in the comments. Nobody jumping in here. I'm just saying.
What'd you say, Arya?
Yeah, Mark, come on. I know Mark's in work right now, so show up.
Yeah, don't worry about earning money, mate.
Tell us about all the other places in the Marvel universe that are fictional. Tell us which one you would like to live in.
Birmingham.
Well, Mark would want to live in Latveria, right? Isn't
Latveria, obviously.
The closest thing to a communist utopia?
Yeah.
For the record, I like Silver Surfer better.
All right. Why?
I think he looks cooler. I think he's more powerful. I think his origin has got more. He's more dramatic, and I like the all the different ways you can go. Like he's got the whole galaxy open in a storyline.
Yeah,
I like the Peter Parker sort of neighborhood enclosed stories, but I just think in general I tend to enjoy the more grandiose stuff. It's just my personal preference.
And the cartoon was really cool how they blended the 3D with the 2D animation. Like Arya said, Galactus looked.
Yeah, you two liked it, didn't you? I'm not convinced. I think I would have liked to have seen it all flat.
Yeah, I really liked when they did Ego and Galactus and all these big cosmic characters.
Oh, does Ego turn up in it eventually?
Yeah, Ego's in it. I'm pretty sure he was like a 3D model, but then when they zoom up close on him, he's 2D because they do something really cool with
what happens is that on Ego, the Silver Surfer thinks that he's back to normal and he thinks that he's back on his planet. And it turns out that Ego was disguising his himself to deceive the Silver Surfer into thinking that he was back home, but really he wasn't.
Cool.
It's a better Ego than the Guardians of the Galaxy movie Ego.
It definitely was.
Yeah,
there was
it wasn't.
There was like this thing throughout the show of the series of like, sorry, Mario, but the princess is in another castle. Like several times he thinks that he's back to normal, back with his girlfriend, and then it turns out he's not.
And that's what the longevity of the series is just him trying to find her, get to his own planet and find her.
Kind of.
Right.
It's almost like what the Spider-Man sequel could have been, because the Spider-Man animated series concludes with him, Madame Web taking him out into the universe to search for where Mary Jane really is. But then no one ever made that show,
Right. Yeah, that would have been better than what they did, the follow-up.
Right.
Which was...
Yeah. I think the relatability of Static Shock is really good. I actually like that. I thought it was a clever show. It's just I have two problems with it. Is number one, I'm not a fan of the costume design, and that turns me off from superheroes if it's not visually interesting. And then number two, it's just a lot more of a smaller story, right? Like he's just a street level guy, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I like the bigger stories like Silver Surfer and all that.
Yeah, I think you're coming from the same place as me then, mate. That's how I feel
was
about
the same thing Max said. The thing, I'm a big fan of Static Shock because I really, really, really like the Static Shock comic books. I've got those. I've read the whole run. The supervillains are the same ones, but they're just more interesting in the comic book. It's just more compelling. So I think I went into watching the show already a fan of the comic book, and so I liked it for that reason. So it's hard for me to see it with fresh eyes without already being a massive fan of the character.
Yeah, I totally understand it when you built up a little. You become a fan of something, then you look at it differently when other media comes out, don't you?
Right, but I mean, we're not evaluating Static Shock as a character in all media. We're just looking at the cartoon show, and the cartoon show was good. It's a great show. There's nothing wrong with it. But you're right.
Yeah,
it's not epic, and it's not as great probably as the Silver Surfer show.
The problem is for me, it's going up against like you could put Static Shock up against Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, Silver Surfer. Those early 2000s eras of Marvel cartoons were like unbeatable in my opinion. Like the only reason Spider-Man lost out to X-Men or was just because it was X-Men and that was the best one of the and I really love Silver Surfer. Like I'm coming at this from such a bias because I loved it when I was a kid, and I only ever saw it in Spanish when I was a kid, right? And it's actually like the exact same age as me. It came out in '98, and there was no sequel, right? So maybe when I have a kid, someone will make the sequel series.
Wow.
Well, no, exactly.
That the Marvel rights go public domain.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great. I think they should do that, frankly. With
the Bronze Surfer.
The Bronze Surfer.
Bronze Skater.
What's another word for surfing or skating that isn't either?
Navigator.
The Bronze Navigator. Right.
No,
that's lame.
They just call him Steely Dan.
Yeah. That's amazing. I got one more video drop that I want to look at today.
I cannot let the collar control me. I will not let it.
The way of the universe is the way of acceptance, not denial. The truly strong are those who do not resist, but absorb.
Of course. Fighting the slave collar, it gives it more of my power to use against me. I must show true strength by accepting the collar and absorbing it.
Michael says gliding, the bronze glider. Although that sounds
the gold glider, the golden glider,
the golden
glider. Oh, nice. There you go, mate.
That's it.
Fucking stick him in tailless. Have the golden glider.
Create that character.
He's got like a tail or something.
Well, you can address all of the arguments that we've had today of what constitutes surfing. I'm assuming gliding fits every example of skating and surfing.
There'll be my version of Unlisted Nick there going, well, you're not really gliding since there's no air in space.
Yeah, there's no through air or gravity. So if anything, you're the gold floater.
The floater. No, that's
from the valleys.
I think Golden Glider is a really good show. Golden Glider would be a really cool character, and I think Valley to Valley would be a funny show.
Put him down, mate.
A girl from the San Bernardino Valley. I have to specify because apparently there's 17 different valleys. A girl from the San Bernardino Valley goes to live in Wales for a year. I would watch the shit out of that show.
Just goes to live with Arya.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Exactly.
You would have a couple problems with that.
So the clip I showed a second ago, like another cool thing about the Silver Surfer cartoon that we haven't even talked about is like the subject matter that it addresses, because it's out in space and it's all weird and philosophical. So it gets really deep and heady and like and existential with it, you know, because he's like battling the collar and he has to use like some Aikido martial arts shit to like give in to the collar so he can get loose from it. It's like it takes your brain in some different directions. That's a little sort of more compelling than just zapping bad guys with electricity. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Silver Surfer takes it just for a little bit smarter and a little bit more visionary action and direction.
For sure.
What should we do next week?
I don't know.
Well, obviously we're going to do the science of what makes it gliding, skating, and surfing.
Right.
Break that down. We'll also discuss whether we'll discuss superhero genitals. We're gonna have to do a bit of research on that. Is it worth sacrificing your genitals for the fate of humanity?
And
We'll
would
debate that.
having the genitals help the gliding or make the gliding worse?
Turtles upside down or right side up? Which way are you surfing on them?
Help or hinder.
We could do Karate Kid because we
Let's do Karate Kid.
we've all seen Karate Kid, so we'll talk about the trilogy, all the movies with Miyagi.
Okay. The Miyagi movies.
The Miyagi movies. The Miyagi verse, not the new show, but the old movies with the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And then Arya, you can wear your karate gear next week.
Only if you demonstrate your best crane kick on camera.
Obviously, I'll wear my gi. It's not a karate gi, but I'll wear it.
I'll wear my shorts.
A headband. Just wear a headband.
I'll wear a tie headband. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right, cool.
For the whole thing.
So Silver Surfer is the winner, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
I think he wins this one.
All right. Anything else?
Well,
we should talk about
Go on.
We should talk about our comic books that we made.
We should absolutely talk about
Probably
it.
should.
Probably should.
And I think, Ben, you should get it up and play the video because we haven't played it for ages.
You're right. So here's Arya's.
No.
Oh, go ahead. You've got it.
Do yours first. Do yours first.
Yeah, do ours first. Do ours first.
All right. Well, I gotta get it. I should have it.
It's okay, bro.
Oh,
everyone's chomping at the bit.
Indiegogo project.
Incidentally, I'm liking the pumpkin spice figure, mate.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I was just looking for, trying to get that up.
Tails whizzing, yeah.
You can leave it there docked, Arya. I'll just play it afterwards.
In collaboration with Tier 1 Comics, an all-new creative team brings the epic fantasy adventure of Rokon to life.
You can mic, Ben.
Combining high fantasy and heavy metal artistic styles and sensibilities with the action-packed, fun world of superhero comic books. Rokon is part fantasy, part superhero, and all metal.
Hey, hop onto Indiegogo, take a look. If you like it, then think about buying it. If you don't like it, then give it a share. And if you don't want to give it a share, fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah, part superhero, part fantasy, all metal, man. That's what it's all about. New pages all the time. Follow Max Headshroom on Twitter, on Instagram, M Headshroom on Twitter. Follow Rokon Fiction on Instagram and Twitter. We got artwork all the time, updates, everything you want. And Arya has his own book too, Tailless Outer Space.
So yeah, you can search. Just go on Indiegogo, search for Tailless. That's tail-less. And yeah, we've got something new on the campaign, so I'll show you this real quick.
What? What just happened?
How many Arias on there on the screen? See, Arya
You get a free Aria with the book.
Arya can reproduce himself.
Mm.
Yeah, I was hiding that from you, but
yeah,
I guess you've ruined my secret now. That's not the one.
Secrets out. Secrets out.
Where is it?
You get an Aria clone with a new perk, but only during Halloween.
All right, I can't find the video, but I'll show you this. My bad.
Pumpkin Spice Aria.
Yeah. All right, so this is Pumpkin Spice Tailless, the brand new action figure from Blackness Comics. It is exactly the same as the original Keshi figure that did really well. However, this one is a very spooky orange color. Plus, it is CG's very first scented action figure. So we got Lateef Reed from Graphite Toys on the job, and yeah, this is going to be CG's first scented action figure, which I think is really cool. Ethan Van Sciver beat us to the punch on articulated action figures, but oh well, we'll beat him to scented ones. And yes, scented action figures are a better gimmick than holograms. So we've got that.
Well, we'll see about that.
Okay, stay tuned for Christmas time when I release hologram Tailless and it sells less. Yeah, head on over to Indiegogo, search for the Adventure Tailless in Outer Space, and back yourself a Pumpkin Spice Tailless today. They are only available until Halloween, and they're super cheap at the moment. I've discounted them. They're actually cheaper than the regular figure, so go check it out if you want to get your hands on this Keshi. Nice. But also, if you buy any of the artwork tiers on the campaign between now and Halloween, I'll just send you a Pumpkin Spice Tailless for free. So go check it out. 2 different ways to get it. He's super cheap on his own. And buy any artwork, and I'll send you it for free. There we go.
Lovely stuff.
That's amazing. For Christmas, you should do like a sugar plum Tailless or a peppermint Tailless.
Yeah. Someone suggested doing red, green, and blue red, green, and white versions, and then I can re-release them whenever Italy has something big going on.
That is jewelling it up. That is a pretty good idea, though. To be fair. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. We got more viewers now than we did during most of the show. That's insane. Maybe we should do it. Should we always do it an hour later? Should this be the start time?
Should we just go over it all again? Recap?
Let's start again. Silver Surfer's penis.
The Silver Surfer doesn't have a penis, but he's still in love with his girlfriend. Is Static Shock really a surfer? Could you say that? Is the DC universe the real universe? Genosha, Strabadosha, Latveria, Babadisha Baba. Silver Surfer wins because science fiction weird shit. Back Rokon on Indiegogo. Back Tailless on Indiegogo. I'm out of here. See you next week.